What's up, everyone? It is your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today, girl, we're gonna get into ranking all my Natasha Denona mini palettes. Now I said mini, not midi, so all the little baby $27 ones, because they used to be 25, but girl, she didn't went up to 27. So the $27 palettes, we're gonna rank all those now. So I own 12 of the 13 that exist. Y'all know I wasn't buying the mini nude, I just couldn't do it. Like, I bought the other two or three bronzy boring ones because at least they had pops of color. Like, you got a little orange just and pop in with the what is it, the mini bronze one. Then you got like neutral cool tones, which I'm okay with. We all know I'm fine with cool tones. And I think it's one of them, I think the star one is the one of the big palettes that I never got, so I went ahead and bought that. But it's like the mini nude, I just couldn't do it, so you're not gonna see that one here. But I do have the rest of them, and I felt like we could go ahead and rank them. So without further ado, girl, let's get into it. Hopefully this don't take a full like take to get through, but you know. So we start off with the bottom one, which is 12. Of course, this is the mini retro palette. These colors just don't work that well for someone my skin tone, in my personal opinion. To me, these are just like, I think it's something going on with this shade right here, so I'm gonna hold my finger close to make sure it doesn't fall. But yeah, these shades just don't work on some of my skin tone that well. This is really ashy. I actually like the Mel Thompson Memory Bundle better when it comes to this color story, even though I have the midi size, Natasha Denona mini retro, was it Metro Love, Retro Glam palette. I still just, this just doesn't work for me. So I would say if you're my skin tone, you should just go ahead and get Mel Thompson's bundle. This one ain't gonna do it for you. I do like the shimmers in here at the bottom, but I feel like the mattes don't go deep enough for some of my skin tone. And then this inner corner shade is nice, but it's like, it's not anything special to write home about. Now notice I'm talking about the color story. I'm not talking about the quality of this palette. The quality of this palette is fine. It's just the color story that isn't brown girl friendly, and we clearly see I'm brown, so this ain't it. So number 11 is the Natasha Denona mini Metropolis palette. So I just like the big one better, honestly. Like, this color story is okay, and I think every shade in here is from that palette except one. I think it's supposed to be one new shade in here, don't quote me though. But I'm like, I have this throwaway shade that I can't use for anything, and these other four is just like, how many times do I want to have to do a yellow gold look or a yellow and green look with this brown on the outer V? So I feel like it's limited. I mean, I know they're supposed to be limited and just give you an idea of what's to come, but it's just a little too limited for me, and I ain't with it. So that's why this one is where it is, because the big one's better, and since I own the big one now, so I don't have too much of a need for this one. So number 10 is the mini glam palette. So out of all the neutral palettes I have, this one just doesn't really speak to me. Again, I have one of these throwaway shades that I can't use for too much anything, and I only have this one dark brown, and I have all these boring basic shimmers to choose from. So it's like I have to put one of these two darker ones on the lid, and it's always in the inner corner. So to me, again, this just isn't one that's exciting. Now if I mix these with the other minis I'm about to show up with, then I feel like I have more variety, because she has a lot of minis that are really, you know, neutral and boring. It's like 4 of them. It's this one, and then the other 2 are coming after this one, of course, because we know that's not my color aesthetic. So number 9 is the Bieber palette. Now this one has a little bit more color than the one I just showed you does, which is how it got to be a little bit higher up. The only thing is, it only has like one shimmer, so it's like I'm limited to the looks I can do in my personal opinion, because I don't have enough shimmers. I always feel like for the majority of the time she doesn't have a nice shimmer to matte ratio, and it always has to be paired with something else, unless you're looking for like a 2 for simple eye look, where you put some on the outer V, you put it on the lid, you wrap it in the inner corner along with the lid and go on with your day. I feel like a lot of times these don't necessarily work for me in that regard. That's why it's where it is again, because it's like, I've used this dark shade on the outer V, I have to use this in the crease. I guess I could put this all over my lid and this in my inner corner, but it's like, otherwise I have to do it, look this way or look that way. I don't like the fact there's only one shimmer here. I'd prefer to have another shimmer just to switch the lid in inner corner shades if I felt like it, but it's like I only have one if I'm a person who only likes to use shimmers. And I feel like this brown and this brown, I mean, I know they're different, but it's like, since you already had a brown in there, people could use a light hand with this one, and then you could have gave us another shimmer. So that's why this one is, although it's ranked higher than the other one because it has a better color story, I don't like the fact that the matte to shimmer ratio on here, I'm not crazy about. Now it's funny how the mini bronze is number 8, and it has the same kind of matte to shimmer type ratio, but I just feel like these tones work best on my skin tone out of all the ones she has. And this shade I've actually put on my lid in a video for you all, and it actually looked pretty nice. I'm not one who normally puts shades like this on the lid, but I was like, let me try something different. Let me do something different. And it actually worked out pretty nicely. Plus, this one, I feel like is the warmest one out of all of them. And it'll be a good go-to, like, I need to rush to work summer one. So that's how this one got ranked a little bit above the Biba palette. Just because I feel like the tones work better for someone of my skin tone. I mean, the Biba one works nice, but I feel like this one works just a tad bit better. And that's why I got to be just a tad bit higher. So number 7 is the mini gold palette. Now y'all know I have the original gold palette and I like that a million times better than I like this one. But I do like the color story of this one better than the other one, because I feel like if I wanted a smoky olive tone type eye, I could easily like grab this palette out and get a nice little look. The only thing is I don't like the fact that the deepest shade in here is a shimmer. I feel like this green should have been a little bit deeper. But I feel like if I pack it on, I may be work it a little bit, or I'd have to just put the bronzer on the crease if I was on vacation. But I could still get a nice green smoky eye, and I could still get a nice like daytime look if I wanted to. What I consider daytime appropriate, because y'all know I'm a smoky girl, so you know a smoky look is always appropriate for me. So that's how this got to be number 7. Now all the ones I'm talking about, I like the formula on them just fine. I haven't had any of those minis that have bad formulas. Like I'm pretty sure they phased out the Sunset and the Lila, the one that they originally came out with that everyone was saying the quality was horrible on. I never bought them, so I can't tell you about the experience and the quality on those. But all of these new ones that I'm talking about, all 13 of those, or the 12 that I own of the 13, have fine quality to them. I haven't had any bad experiences when it comes to quality on any of these. I'm sorry, I meant to say 14, not 13. I forgot I don't have the mini Zendo. I did mean to get that. I just haven't gotten around to getting it. I'm trying to wait till it goes 50% off during some Sephora sale to grab it, because it's not a color story I'm crazy about. And then you got to think the Zendo itself doesn't have that great quality either. So that's why I didn't rush out to get that one. So I need to correct myself. It's 14, not 13. It's 14 new ones and then the 2 originals that they came out with. So technically they're 16, but I feel like they are phasing out the 2 original ones since the formula was so bad and everybody's talking about it so much. So that's why I'm sticking with the number of 14. Okay, now number 6 is the mini star palette. I never was able to get my hands on this actual eyeshadow palette, which kind of makes me sad. With this one though, I can actually kind of work with this shade, because like I feel like her shades go deeper than they look in the pan, which is why this one got to be ranked a little bit higher, because this is more of my neutral color aesthetic. Y'all know I love the pop of blue moment, so it has the cute little pop of blue. It has this shade that I can work in my crease and make work for me. It has this deep nice outer V shade, or I can put this on the lid or this on the lid, and this is my inner corner shade. This is what I was talking about when I wanted a more compact palette that I feel like would work for me. This is what I was thinking about. Like I got the one shimmer for the inner corner, I got 2 different lid shades, and then I got these 2 mattes that work well for my skin tone. So this is why this one is number 6 above the other ones I showed you, because I felt like it just has a better design for what I personally like. Number 5 is Xenon. I think this is the perfect smoky eye palette from Natasha Denona. Like if you need a smoky eye palette and you don't want to spend a lot of money but you want good quality, I would definitely recommend this one, especially if you don't want to wait on the one from Kaleidos. I know they're in China and it could take a while to get here. You can go to Sephora and pick this up if you're in a pinch and emergency and want a gorgeous smoky eye look. The silver in here is amazing. I like all the shades in here. This one actually, because it runs kind of taupey and gray, I think it's a good brow bone shade for someone my skin tone, believe it or not. So I like this one as a whole, and this is my go-to like smoky eye palette when I'm on the rush at home. Even though I have such bigger palettes, when I'm in a rush, we reaching for this one. Y'all, the battery trying to die when we at the top 4. So the top 4 is like 2 palettes I like to pair with each other, which is why they got to be at the top back to back together. But let me go get a battery and then we'll try to wrap this up. Girl, I was hoping this video wouldn't be choppy like it is, but batteries want to die and cars want to get full. It's just a whole hot mess. Like whenever I try to film lately, it's like all these issues always try to drop in my lap. It's real disrespectful. Okay, y'all, so we into the top 4 like I was telling you about before the battery decided you need to disrespect me. So yeah, so number 4 and 3, I'm just putting them together because I like to use them together. These are the 2 romantic palettes she came out with. So she came out with the Mini Love palette first, and then the Mini Crush came out in 2022, believe it or not. I thought it came out in 2021, but I saw in people's 2022 videos when they were ranking all their palettes. So I'm like, oh, it must have came out. Then I just didn't keep up because it's so small and it came out so early, so I just, you know, kind of forgot about it. Okay, so the plastic on mine is broken right here, so I'm gonna try to be careful with it and hold it where it's broken to make sure it doesn't break any further. But this is what they look like side by side. I feel like this is just a great color combination. Now this is a high price point for this color combination though, because you gotta think these are $25 a piece, so it's 50 bucks. But I've seen this one go on sale on Sephora, and I've seen this one go on sale on Sephora. So if you caught both of them on sale on Sephora, I think that's a really good deal. Or if they were smart, they'd put these in a bundle on her website and let you buy them that way, because I like combining both of these together. I like the shifts of color in the shades, and then I like the different tones in the shade, because this one gives you some lighter mattes to go with the deeper mattes in here, and this gives you a dual chrome in here, when this one gives you more of like the reflective glittery shade in here. So I feel like you get all sorts of different tones and colors and formulas from Pat McGrath when you have both of these, and I think it's a wonderful deal. So I am so glad I have, well, not a wonderful deal, but I mean, I think it's a wonderful combination if you're on a rush and on the go and you like colors like this. I think it'd be perfect for you. And these are two of my favorites. Now, I prefer the formula in the Mini Love just a tad bit more than the formula in the Mini Crush, but you know, like I usually use them together, so it kind of doesn't matter. Now, numbers 2 and 1 are actually the one that's on my eye and the Mini Tropic palette. Y'all know I was gonna have the colorful one at the top, right? I mean, it's me talking about. So I feel like these will actually be great combination palettes, because you have this mint green, and y'all know I love blue, green, purple moment. What is this? A blue, green, purple palette. And what is this? Essentially a like green and blue palette. So I can pull the purple out of here. I have this nice pink and then this neutralish type shade. So I feel like I can use a nice neutral shade with the purple matte and like this weird color tone right here, or I can use the other blue greens with the blue greens in here and make a nice little look. So I'm looking forward to actually combining both of these together. I haven't done it yet, but in my mind I'm like, this is a great palette mashup, palette combination. So I'm like, I'm definitely here for it. Now I will say I like this one a little better than this one, just because I like the colors in here a little bit more, and the fact that there's more mattes in here than there are in here. The metallics in here are really nice. The mattes in here were actually really nice. I didn't have any issues with these the way people said they had issues in the Big Tropic palette. I didn't use all the shades in Big Tropic palette. The Fun Row didn't give me any issues the way other people said it gave them. I actually like this mini pastel palette better than I like the full size one, even though the colors don't actually look true to color on the eye. I just prefer the miniature one better, I guess, because the price point is easier to swallow, and I know like the colors aren't gonna stay true to color. They're gonna oxidize and all that, and I found it out the hard way in the bigger one, and I was upset about that. So I can appreciate the little one where it's like I know that one matte shade is gonna do that. All the shimmers are gonna look the way they're supposed to, and it only cost me $27 instead of $67. So those are my thoughts on all of my quads. I'm sure you're surprised that, I'm sorry, quads, 5 pans. I'm sure you're surprised that these two are at the top. But at the same time, I feel like because you know me and you know I love colorful shadows, that you shouldn't be surprised that the colorful ones are at the top. But you know, there's that. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are dimes. You can comment down below and tell me if you have any of these quads and if you agree with my ranking or not. Because I don't know why I'm saying quads, 5 pans. You can tell me if you agree with my ranking on the 5 pans or not, girl. I just did it realistically based upon what we know I like. If I had sat up here and told you I like the mini bronzes number 1, you'd been looking at me like I'm crazy and been like I'm lying. So I was just true to who I am and showed you which ones are my favorite. But like I said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.